everyone, this is Bake for Life. In today's P4L review, we'll be taking a look at the BB7 / Yes model YM-05 Assault, their version of a masterpiece thrust, the cone head, obviously, from the G1 series. And as you can see, it comes with a lot of stuff. So Thrust is an interesting character. I mean, he was never, I guess, a main character in the G1 series, but he's gotten a lot of attention in the third-party world, or I guess the toy world recently, with the official masterpiece. There's this guy here. There was the previous, original kind of cone head from iGear, which was a MP3 remold, retool. And then there's also the KBB version of Thrust as well. So you have a lot of different options. This one is I guess the hottest one right now in terms of just demand, just because it has the most options. And as you can see, he comes with a lot of stuff. So actually, let's go ahead and talk about what he comes with first, and then we'll go into robot mode review. So starting off with some decorations, he does have these, I don't know if they're rub-ons or water slide. I'm not actually sure. They look like they might be rub-ons, but in any case, you get a bunch of them. You get 4 large ones, 1 medium one, and 2 small ones, which is nice. Since this is not my figure itself, I'm not going to go ahead and install these, but other options, you do get a couple of pilots. So if you remember from the early days, these guys came with pilots. The first one on the left is the pilot itself, and it's in a smoky translucent plastic. And then this one on the right is actually Dr. Arkaville, who came with Starscream, I think the original Starscream, the MP3 one. And they're both translucent and clear. He also comes with a little clip, which is used in conjunction with Megatron's, which is KO'd as well. And you clip this on the bottom of the fuselage, the nose cone, to mimic a scene where I think where Starscream basically carried Megatron and started shooting people down like that. He does come with a bunch of missiles, different types of missiles, thrusters, I guess you consider these thrusters. These can actually, they have a point here, attachment point, a peg that can slide up and down. It actually looks like you can open it up. There's a pin joint here, but I think it might have been just for manufacturing purposes. But you can open this up, actually cover up the null rays, like so. Am I getting it on correctly? Like so, to have like really big, I guess, launchers or whatever, something like that. It does restrict some of the movement, but still pretty cool inclusion. And then because it has the peg here, you can use it in alt mode, which we'll show off a little bit later. But kind of a cool inclusion. Pretty nicely molded. It does have some of the kind of gunmetal coloring here, which mimics what they have on the thrusters on the back. And I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be from. I don't think it's supposed to be from the toy. I don't remember it. I remember these being kind of like the toy missiles instead of null rays, and they have ball joints here, so you can go ahead and detach this if you want from the ball joint and attach it similarly. We'll just go ahead and leave these on for now. All right, and then they also have pegs as well. So these look pretty cool. I like the inclusion of those. And I think these are the ones that kind of mimic the toy missiles that he came with. So again, mostly for alt mode, but these can also peg on with a ball joint and with these pegs here. Again, nice silver paint finishes. Pretty plainly molded, but I'm not asking for a whole lot here. And I think since it's supposed to be for like the G1 toy aesthetic, it's okay if they're a little plain. In addition to the head that he's already installed, I think this one came installed on the head already. It might not be, but I actually like this head. It's kind of a toy head. It has the silvery, again, gunmetal painted finish. I don't like that the mouth is open, but the yellow eyes look good, and yellow is usually hard to get pretty good coverage on, and it's pretty clean, so good job there. The head here that is already on is kind of almost exactly like the new Masterpiece official head, except that it doesn't have a smirk. It's straight-faced. Mine does have, or at least this one does have, some scratches on the nose. So I don't know if that was how it came or not, but yeah, to get it, so that one popped off screen, but you can just pop off the ball joint and plug in the other one. Since this is a false nose cone, you don't, unlike the official, you don't have to worry about, you know, transforming it or damaging anything like that. You just have to hide it away during transformation. I do actually like that about the official one, that you can actually transform with the real nose cone. He does come with these two missiles, which again are mimicking what you used to get from the Seekers. And then what else does he have? Oh, the stand, obviously, which has the molded Decepticon symbol. It's just a KO of the stand that we've gotten before, which can attach there, and as well as alt mode. And then oddly, he comes with two extra alternate knee pads. These are very odd. So the way you're supposed to use these is you can actually pull off these kneecaps. They have a small peg that uses a screw hole as a mount. But you pull this off, and you see that there's molded pieces the way it's supposed to mold. The indented side is supposed to go to the inner leg, and this is supposed to go like this. But there's no way to attach it. Some pictures showed it off. I don't know how they attach it. There's no actual way to do it. It's just smooth. There's no peg. There's no even adhesive to get it to work. But I actually like the look of this a lot. So if you like it, maybe use some double-sided tape or blue tack, and you can apply it, and it gets rid of like the bigger kneecaps. But to reinstall this, just go ahead and put the peg into the inner part of the knee, and just push this over. Oh, did I go too high? Sorry. As usual, it's always difficult to get this kind of stuff done on camera. The really nice part, as I said about this figure, is the options. It's not just the accessories, but also the display options for the figure itself. So the configurations that you can do with this guy are numerous. So you can have him down, his wings down, kind of like this, as the cartoon and G1 version of him has it. But you can also do it kind of like the iGear one and some of the others, where you can flip this up and have it displayed a little bit higher, as kind of like you would expect wings to be, kind of the shoulders. But again, you have the option for both. Oops, sorry about that. That's not a fault of the figure. That's a fault of me not transforming him correctly, and also a fault of the display not being perfectly flat. Sorry about that. But yeah, he does look really nice in both modes, and I like that you have the option for both. That's something different. Going in and looking at the figure itself, it's what you would expect. It's mostly based off of the MP3 mold. MP11 mold, so the revised mold. So the improvements that you see there are like with the foot and the heel, the addition of the heel spur, which we saw when I was transforming it correctly. That is the newest, the biggest changes here. And then the mechanisms that they employ to allow you to transform it in various ways. Like so. So I like that option. And obviously the side pieces here that move up, those are remnants of the improved MP11 mold. So it's a great looking figure overall. Couple of things to note though. The plastic feels a lot softer, and pieces like this, right here where these connection points are really thin. Actually, this one came and it was broken, and I had to glue it back here. So it's really thin, just be careful of that. The plastic does seem a little bit softer. I mean, not bad by any stretch, but softer than I would have liked. The overall weight is almost the exact same as the official MP thrust, though. I think it's like fractions of ounces lighter, but within like a half an ounce the same weight. The other thing that I noticed is with these tabs here, they don't tab in particularly well. It looks like this is stressing this double hinge here, and it doesn't like to adhere very well. The tabs, if they were a little bit longer, I think would have been better. But they stick in just fine. Just, anytime you bump into them, they'll end up coming out. What else is there to note? The other thing to note is that no matter what I do, I can't get this guy to properly transform all the way. So what I'm pointing out here is that there's actually a gap between the shoulder and the intakes, and that's not supposed to be there. And it's not mistransformed. I have it all the way slid down. It's just probably a result of the fact that this is a kind of a KO using a previous mold as its base, right? And so it doesn't slide down all the way. I've seen numerous people and their reviews and looked at them, and none of them actually have this all the way down. See, as you can see, that part flips out quite a bit. So that's a really big bummer. Other things to note, though, are that the abundance of kind of like sprue marks and stuff is pretty present. Like here, down here on the legs is really obvious, on the front of the shins. But you'll see them all over the place, and it's kind of annoying up here. Even this, just because it's flashing here, it doesn't even close all the way, so you might have to do some cleaning up. But it's a KO, and it's like half the price of the official, so you got to give it a little bit of a pass on that kind of stuff, right? Alright, so I think that's it for just overall kind of need to know impressions. I did want to do some comparisons. So, starting off with the iGear version, which I still have, which I still like quite a lot. Actually, let's put him to the right side. And again, I apologize for these guys being a little bit wobbly. My review space is not completely flat. Where it is kind of flat, but the cushion that it's on has a little bit of give. And then this is the official one. So you can kind of see the progression of colors, the differences in colors going from left to right. You have this kind of, I don't know, almost like light brick color here. It's kind of like a muted color. I like this color the best. I think it's a really nice medium dark red color. And then you have this really, really dark red, almost dark reddish brown color with the iGear. I don't have any of the others, so I can't compare with those, like the KBB. But I would definitely say that this color, I like this color the best. Although I do kind of like this kind of muted gray color of the official. In any case, they're all basically, by and large, the same figure in terms of the base mold, right? Again, the big differences here are the remolding and engineering, which is actually quite nice on the official. All right. So I think that's it for overall kind of comparisons. As far as articulation, it's the same thing that you've gotten from the other MP11 molds and MP3 molds by and large. The only thing, as I mentioned before, are these wings. So they work on a separate swivel here, but you can only swivel it one way. Like, you can't swivel it all the way around this way as far as I can tell. Or maybe you can, or maybe it's just running into this. Maybe you can. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, so I thought that would have been weird. But yeah, you can go ahead and swivel these any which way you want to get them down by the legs. You can straighten these out to give it a more accurate G1 look. Or you can have them up as I just showed before. I'm not really going to go into transformation because honestly, it's the same mold. You're not going to get anything different out of this, except for this one part here. So I'm not going to show off transformation. Let's go ahead and get into alt mode and then do some more comparisons there. We're back in alt mode, and as you can see, I ended up adding these thrusters here to cover up the null rays, added these missiles, and you can actually transform this with the thrusters covering without having to take anything apart. Very nice alt mode. It does have a little bit more of a streamlined look than some of the others that we'll show off in just a minute, at least in terms of this part here. Holds together pretty well. A couple of things to note is that again, with the weird tolerances and just small negliging things, the wheel doors don't sit flush here. Or at least I haven't been able to get this to sit flush on these, but it's a very minor thing. Overall, everything works pretty well. The landing gear and everything is here. You still have the air brake with the die-cast piece here. And again, you can lift these up to look at the engines for the thrusters in the back. By and large, looks really quite nice. It doesn't have working blades, but I don't know that many people are really that interested in that. He still does have the nose cone radar. And you can open this up and throw pilots in, or one pilot at least. Close that up, as you would expect. And I think most people are interested in, again, sorry about that, knocking the camera, in the comparison. So here he is. Actually, I'm not going to be able to get all three at once. There he is with the official MP thrust. I would say in terms of quote-unquote accuracy, the MP one is a bit more accurate in alt mode. But both look quite nice. And I think it's because, as I said before, this part is a little bit more curved. And I actually think that makes it less accurate. Let's go ahead and compare that with the iGear MP3 mold, or at least revision of the MP3 mold. I think one of the main differences here is the underside. The MP3 was much, much better at making everything look smooth, and I mean, this has just like jarring non-aerodynamic pieces to it. The MP3 mold is just kind of like that. This is a little bit plainer in terms of deco, so you can see here with iGear you have that and have some on the side, and even with the official you kind of had some details here, right? So yeah, that's really it for the alt mode. We're not going to go back into robot mode for final thoughts because that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Oh, sorry. Let's go ahead and show off this piece here. Even though everyone should know about this, it's just this clip that goes underneath the nose cone. Come on. Like so. And since we're showing off stuff, you can again bring the stand in and make use of that. Here, you'd have to be careful with this thing. You have to get him out of the way. But again, using these two halves that form one tab that goes into here, and you can get this hook around. Come on. There we go. Doesn't seem to want to work this time. But it does work. Anyway, it does work. I'm not going to be able to show that off, obviously. But yeah, in terms of final thoughts, again, I think for most people, this is going to be a really great option because one, it's like half the price. It's like in the $100-ish range as opposed to $200. And the changes that they made are pretty significant. The option to have those wings displayed both ways is really nice. The options for all these weapons is quite nice. Overall, I would say it's a really fantastic buy. Just be aware that you're not getting a perfect figure. You're gonna get, again, some of the annoying little things like the sprue marks, things not working exactly how they should, the shoulders not collapsing like with their air intakes all the way down to the main body. It's very minor, but it's definitely there. I noticed it right away. But I mean, again, for the value that you're getting, it's a really nice Conehead update and a very nice option for you in terms of the selection that you have. I would say that this probably is the best kind of buy for your version of the Conehead / Thrust. So I would recommend it if you want to pick one of these guys up for your collection, or any of the other Coneheads. I think they're all out, or at least 2 of them are out and 1 should be on the way. Go ahead and head on over to the Toy Dojo Disciples Facebook page. I'll link that in the description, and you can order one there, I think. I don't think they have it on the Toy Dojo site, but if they do, I'll make sure to add that link there. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. As always, give a thumbs up, like, a share, and a subscribe if you haven't already. And that's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.